and welcome to the Healing Element Podcast. I am your host, 𝙑𝙤𝙀𝙯, and this is our first episode of 2022. So happy to be back. It's been a while, and I am here with a very special guest, Monique Johnson. She is a songwriter, musical artist, and she's going to share with us the story of her journey and how she's turned her journey of healing and transformation into song. So I'm really excited about diving into tonight's conversation. So if this is your first time joining, welcome. For those that have been subscribers for us for a while, welcome back. You can catch new episodes of the Healing Element Podcast every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right on the 𝙑𝙑𝙀𝙯 YouTube channel or on Facebook. So with that being said, we're going to dive into our conversation tonight because we're going to be playing a little bit of music, have some conversation. So it's going to be a good time. So with that being said, Monique, welcome to the platform.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate being here.
Awesome. So you and I met doing through the community work that you've been doing in the Charlotte area. And so that's how I connected with you. Real genuine person, beautiful spirit. And then I saw the work that you're doing in the music space. So I was like, oh, definitely want to connect. I think you have a beautiful voice and I love the type of music that you provide. It is that soulful music that, in my opinion, is not, we don't really hear a lot of that right now and on the radio or just really promoted. So I love the sounds that you provide. So we're going to hear some of your music. So those that are watching, you're going to want to stay tuned. You're going to be able to hear some music and find out how you can listen to more and support Monique and her music. So before we go any further, Monique, would you please introduce yourself to the Healing Element Podcast family? It's such a pleasure to have you on the platform.
Hi, Healing Element Podcast family. Hi, everyone. My name is Monique Johnson, or I go by Mojo, M-O-J-O. That's how I came up with the name. I am a Charlotte native, born and raised Queen City, baby. I am a mother of one daughter. She's 12 years old. Her name is Caitlin. I am a music all-around person, singer, songwriter, producer. I absolutely love what I do. Music definitely is a universal language and it feeds the soul. So that's me in a nutshell. And I'm a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. I don't care if they lost in the first round. I'm still a fan.
And that's when you know you're a true fan. Like, listen, I'm here when it's going good, when it's going bad. You're not, what is it called? The fair weather fan. Not a fair weather fan. You are committed. I respect that. So we're going to really have a fun conversation tonight, but also talking about how music can really help one through challenging times. And I'm sure that everybody has a song that they'll hear during certain points of their life, and it'll bring them back to that point and say, oh, I remember I was going through a breakup or I was going through something in my life, and that you use that song to help get you through. Or maybe the song even helped express how you were feeling when you were unable to really verbalize exactly what you were going through at that time. So because we're talking about this soulful music and we have the queen of feel-good music, share with us, queen of feel-good music, what does it mean to have that title, and what does it mean to you and your music?
It means the queen of feel-good music means exactly what it says. I make music that makes you feel good. It's music you could bop to in your car. And I also make music that resonates with the soul. Like I try to let my words and how I sing things, how I arrange my harmonies really resonate with the person listening to it. I've got a couple songs about real life experiences. And so it basically means exactly what it says. I make music that makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm. And so has music, and I know you spoke a little bit about this in introducing yourself, but as far as your journey into music, has this been something that you've always been around, like growing up and had an interest in? So tell us a little bit about your journey into songwriting and singing.
Actually, I did not know I could sing until I was 12. I was 12 years old, same age my daughter is now. And I was in a church choir and I received my very first solo and I was scared to death. And it was then that I found out that I could sing. I kind of put it down for a little bit and did the whole school thing. Of course, studies come first as a young child. That's most important is our education. And then I kind of picked it back up when I got into high school. And then college really just exploded because I went to college on a full ride scholarship for music. So
wow, okay.
That's where I figured out you got something here. You might want to try to keep the wave going.
And so, and in that, did you have other people that were telling you like, you can sing? Did they realize that you had this voice, or was this also a shock to people that were around you, friends and family?
Like my mom was a big advocate. I think she knew before I did. Because she said I used to talk all the time and sing all the time on top of all of that. So she was a big, heavy influence on that. But I think for others, it may have been a surprise because I didn't do it often.
Okay. So was it like a confidence thing as why you didn't, or you just thought I can't sing?
It was a confidence thing, kind of lacking self-confidence, hearing other singers that I thought were really, really good. And I'm like, I'm not as good as they are. I hadn't quite gotten to the stage where you learn not to compare yourself and just really be your authentic self. Mm-hmm. So I had not gotten there yet. So it was a confidence thing for sure.
And so now looking at you with singing, singing at weddings, different events, so total transformation in that area with really owning and showing up as your authentic self. So can you share with us how you're now using your music as a method to heal and how that's helped you on your own personal journey?
I use my music to heal the places within myself and hopefully within others that may be sad, may be down. It has helped me on my journey so much to be able to put my emotions to song and to pen and paper. Like you can just bleed your emotions all over the paper and the pen when you're actually writing the song. Even if I don't know how a song is necessarily going to go, a song to me kind of starts as like a poem. Mm-hmm. So it really is about expressing yourself. And for me, it's a release. And so it's helped me along my journey to just be able to release those negative emotions that I've been holding on to. Now, every song I write is not sad. Obviously, I'm the queen of feel-good music for a reason. Mm-hmm. But it just allows me to just open up and not have any inhibitions about doing so.
So it is like a therapeutic process, because maybe something, like if you are going through something and maybe it involves another person, you can't share it with them because maybe that will cause even more issues, or it's like, I don't even want to open up Pandora's box on that situation. But through music, you can still have that type of release.
Absolutely. You can talk right to the person and they never know that you're talking to them about them. But inside of you, you have gotten it out. So now you're not sitting with all that stuff bottled up on the inside.
Mm-hmm. And so for your writing process, do you like to kind of be alone by yourself? Or is it like when you're kind of out and about, maybe something may come to you and it's kind of like jotting something down? Or do you kind of have a process to your writing?
With my writing, I will do one of two things. I will be alone, which I prefer to be alone, just me, my thoughts, the music, or I will reach into my bag of encouragement, which is my best friend. Her name is 𝙑𝙤𝙀. She's also a singer-songwriter, and we'll do it together. So, but as far as like really getting into some of my music, I do prefer to be alone.
Mm-hmm. And I wonder too, we spoke about this often on the podcast about this vulnerability, because what you were saying about if you're going through something, and again, it's not always negative, but music does allow you to be a little bit more vulnerable and hit those vulnerable places. So sometimes I could see why it's like, you know what, I kind of want to work through this process on my own, because you're opening up maybe different parts of you that working to heal, or you're not ready for the world to kind of see yet. So having that kind of personal space to yourself, I can see how that can allow the creativity to flow even more. Because with vulnerability, we kind of like, that's very uncomfortable, and we can kind of box ourselves in because of that. Is that something that resonates with you?
It absolutely resonates with me, because sometimes, just like your podcast is named The Healing Element, sometimes the healing element can only take place within you because you're the one that's going through, right? Mm-hmm. So when I write my songs and I choose to be alone, it's not that I don't want to involve other people. It's just that it's something that I need to process mentally, physically, spiritually. And my music helps me do that. And in order to do that, I have to get centered. You know, centered in spirit, mind, body, grounded. So that definitely resonates with me 110%.
Awesome. And so we have a question, listener, Baseman Awakens. Let's put on the screen. He said, how did you overcome your fear of singing in public?
I overcame my fear of singing in public by learning a very special trick. You take the back of the room and you find a clock, you find a dot on the wall, a picture hanging, and you sing to the dot or you sing to the picture. And then eventually you get comfortable with singing in public and you can make eye contact with people. But at first, I use that focal point. Yeah.
I like that. And he says, what types of genres do you cover?
I cover gospel, R&B, soul, and jazz.
Awesome. And so, yeah, and make sure you guys, like I said, stay tuned, because you're going to be able to hear some of the beautiful music. So you're going to want to stay tuned for the whole podcast. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just going to say I'm classically trained, but I haven't done classical music in a very long time, but it's still in there.
Okay. And so you can hear elements of, though, in your music. So I can't wait to share with you guys. And so one thing I did want to say, when you were saying, as far as like kind of looking at a specific space on the wall or a dot or a clock or something to kind of focus your attention on that, so you're not looking at all the faces, that's going to help me, because I do public speaking, but I don't like it. I like to be behind the scenes. So I am going to try that technique. So I appreciate it. But that's when I'm doing like if there's a PowerPoint and I'm talking about yoga, meditation, and for the most part, not sharing anything that's deep to me, meaning something personal. So for you, when you're singing those songs that are personal, is it sometimes difficult to kind of stand up there? Does that make it even harder to stand up there in front of people when you are singing those songs that have like that special meaning to you?
I would say yes and no. Yes, because I'm trying to keep from crying. No, because I feel like somebody else needs to hear it. Somebody else may be able to relate. Like there may be somebody out there who really needs to hear it. So that helps me push myself through it. So it's a yes and no.
And so that's what I love about your music, is that it speaks to real world experiences. And again, very relatable for people. And something that I think that expression that's really missing in our music today. Just my opinion. I prefer old school music. I just felt like it was more of the storytelling than a lot of what we hear now. So I just want to get your idea, kind of now being in the music industry, and you doing that storytelling with your music. What are your feelings about the current state of music?
The current state of music, I will start this with a disclaimer. This is no shade to anybody out there doing your thing, do what you do. But the current state of music, to me, it has lost its voice. I too prefer the storytelling and the stuff that kind of resonates within. These days, I feel like, and again, this is no shade to anybody who does it. It's all about the beat. or the bop, or the two lines they may say over and over and over again that people, you know, they're doing this too all night.
Right.
But I think it's really lost its foundation. It's not there.
And we don't even really hear about like R&B artists anymore like we used to. And many of those stories were about love, different elements of love, different elements of love. And when I say love, not just about another person, loving yourself, different realizations that a person kind of experiences because of a love loss, sometimes even death. Like, again, all that, those storytelling elements. And that's something now, you're right. I think everything's been reduced for the most part, generally speaking, has been reduced to like, what can you play in a club, or what's a beat on the radio that can kind of get folks' attention. So it's almost as though, and I'm not anywhere close to the music industry. Nobody ever wants to hear me sing ever in life. But it makes me kind of think if the driver of this shows the driver of music is more so the industry than the people that want to tell the story, which are the singer-songwriter. It kind of makes me think that is the case.
Absolutely, it is the industry. The industry has a and this is why I love being an independent artist. Now, don't get it twisted. I would love to be, you know, well known like the India Aries or the Jill Scotts of the world. But the industry has placed so much focus on the image and what people gravitate to, which unfortunately these days cannot be as respectful as we like it to be, especially towards our women, even our men. There are plenty of female artists where I'm like, whoa, did you just say that? Is that, you know what I mean? So it's definitely about the image.
And I think that's what's so important about the work that you're doing, is it shows different parts of your life. And I think right now music is really, for the most part, is really one-sided. It's just like all about getting the bag, getting another bag. Like that's just kind of what the focus is. And also just not the respect level is missing for men to women and women to men. Like it's not there. So that's why I think artists such as yourself so important, because it shows other people that are up and coming that there is another way. Like this doesn't have to be the only path that you take if you want to get into music.
Absolutely. I agree with that 110%. And you know, it's almost sad these days that that's what we've been left with. Now, don't get it twisted. I love a nice bop, honey. I love like everybody else.
Right.
At the same time, I miss the music that makes you feel. You know what I mean? Like, and you also, back then you had to have a talent. Not saying that people don't, but it's so auto-tuned and different voices and effects that you can use. Like Earth, Wind, and Fire, you had to be able to sing. Period.
Right. Yeah, you know, it's funny you say that. I was watching, I don't even know, it was something on YouTube. All I do is watch YouTube. So it was something on YouTube, and it probably came on like regular network TV, but it was about mint condition. And they were showing like their journey in music. And I guess they had showed up to, I don't know, I think it was like a recording to do a practice, right? So they came with all their instruments. And so the people at the studio, they were like, why do you have like all this equipment? They're like, we're a band, like we play. And the folks at the studio were like, wait, what? Like, it was just a shock that they were like, they each like played keyboard, played drums, very musical. And they were just in shock because they thought that they were just going to, I guess, do everything. I don't know what the correct term is, but not like basically not having a live band. I guess they thought it was going to all be like computer generated. And so when I saw that, I was like, wow, but it speaks to what you were saying as far as having that talent, crafting that skill of playing a piano, a guitar, or whatever for years. It seems like that's kind of has been missing, but because of artists like yourself, I think that can definitely and is starting to change.
Absolutely. I think that the music that you like refer to, Mint Condition, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Anita Baker, Sade, that music is timeless.
Yes.
Like there is no time. You can hear Mint Condition right now, and I guarantee you, everybody gonna be singing, whether you sing or not. You know all the words. It's timeless. So that's what I try to focus on, is making music that will be timeless, that you could hear 10 years from now and still say, or know the words, or still say, you know, this feels good to me.
Mm-hmm. And you're exactly right. And I think the thing is, like you said, like sometimes you want to hear like that club type beat. So the thing is balance. And I think that's what's kind of missing, is we don't really have that balance, at least on the radio. It's just more so like a particular type of song or beat or lyrics that you hear. But like I said, with the work that you're doing, that's beginning to change that. So for those that are listening, how can they find out more about the music that you provide and support you as an independent artist?
You can find me on Facebook at Mojo NC Music. You can find me on Instagram, Mojo NC Music 007, or no, Mojo Music 007. You can find my website, www.mojoncmusic.com. And you can look for me on all streaming platforms. I'm out there.
Awesome. And so what I will do is I will add to the description box of this episode, so that way people will be able to, when they watch the interview, they'll be able to hit the links and go directly to your site. So with that being said, we're going to listen to a sample of your music. So everyone bear with me. I'm sure it's going to work fine. So this song that we're first going to listen to is called Enough. So can you tell us a little bit of the making of this song before we listen?
Enough came from out of a very dark place. I had recently come out of a 4-year domestic violence abusive relationship, which I'm still healing from that. That's not something I think you just heal from overnight. And I was just really grateful that I had come out of that situation alive. There are a lot of women who do not. And it was basically me telling my story of, like, you'll hear the lyrics, I didn't always like what I see. I didn't value myself. But then I had to realize that God only made one of me, and that makes me enough. So it was born out of pain, but I think it's serving its purpose.
Definitely. I'm sure there's a lot of people that can relate. And sometimes too, when you're providing that type of music to someone, especially many of us that are going through challenging times, sometimes it can feel like you're the only person going through it. And so hearing a song such as this that we're going to listen to, even though the person may not know you, but hearing that, like, okay, I'm not the only person that felt this way. I'm not the only person that went through this. And if she came through it and now can write a song and sing about it, then I know I can make it through as well. So that part of allowing your story to help other people move through challenging times, I think is beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I hope it helps somebody, because every time I listen to it, it does take me back to that place, but it's a reminder that I am enough just the way I am.
Beautiful. So we are going to listen to the sample. So everybody hold on one second. I think. Now, we did this in a little green room and there was no problems. All right, let's see. It's not playing now. All right, so what I'm going to do is, I don't know why. try this. Okay, can you guys hear that? No? All right, so what we're gonna do, because since only I can hear it, that's not gonna be helpful. So we'll try to do this again. So Monique, can you share with us while I try to get this together, the music that we talked a little bit about as far as your music being able to connect with others. Is there in addition to that, do you also want people that are interested in music to help them see that there is another kind of way that they can go in their own musical career?
Absolutely. I want people to know that you should show up in your music and be your authentic self. Mm-hmm. I don't think that you should conform to what the industry says you should be. Now, there are some things that you may have to bend a little bit on, such as image and whatnot. But as far as what you write and how you perform it, I don't think that you should conform to that stuff. Like, I think you just need to remain authentic. As long as you remain authentic, you'll be good to go. Because like I make feel good music outside of Sounds Like Enough. I make songs that make you want to dance too.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be vulgar. It doesn't have to be disrespectful towards my brothers or my women, or it just doesn't have to be that for me.
And I think especially, just in the Black community in particular, like it's so important for us to see and hear those positive messages, positive storytelling, which is what you provide, to show that we can communicate. We can go through things, challenging times, but we can then communicate and come back together and heal and work together. I think that is so important for us to see and hear in our music, instead of a lot of the negative type of lyrics that are unfortunately kind of all over the airways right now.
Absolutely. To each his own. Whatever makes you feel good, do it. But I do what makes me feel good and what I think others, would feel good too. When I think about feel good music, like the first person that comes to mind is Michael Jackson. Yeah. He made music where people who couldn't even speak English knew every single solitary lyric. Not that I'm Michael Jackson. I'm not saying that for the people in the background, the front, the middle, and the back. However, it is an example of what feel good music can do.
Right.
It can bring together people from everywhere.
True. And it can help you have a conversation that you've been avoiding, you don't want to have. You can listen to something like, I think this was a sign. I need to go ahead and have this conversation with whoever. You
Absolutely.
Never know.
Absolutely.
So we're going to try again to get this to work. And I'm going to be positive that it is. Okay, can you now hear?
I can't.
The interwebs won't let me be great. All right, let's see. I know we had practiced this. This is why we do practice. All right, let's see here. All right, let's try this again. This is try to get this up again. Sorry, I apologize. Okay. I think I'm getting close to this working. All right, so now we got that up. Share audio. We have sound? Yes. Oh, yeah. All right, so we're going to listen to Mojo. You guys enjoy, and we'll be back shortly.
I can tell you now what I see standing in front of me. I did not always like what I see. Never good enough, never measure up, always had to be strong. I did not always like me. But then I realized that there was only one God created just like me. And now I finally know that I am worth so much more, so much more to me. 'Cause I am beautiful, courageous, victorious, and able. I am enough. Beautiful, courageous, victorious, and able. I am enough. Abused, mistreated, left to die. I did not know if I would live to see the sunshine. But God had other plans, helped me to stand, held my hand, led me to the light. Now I finally know I can stand strong, never be alone. Anything else just ain't right. 'Cause I am beautiful, courageous, victorious, and able. I am enough. Yes, I am. Beautiful, courageous, victorious, and able. I am enough. I am enough. 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 I am enough.
Wow.
That is the first time I have made it through that song without crying.
Wow.
The very first time ever. I was like, she need to hurry up and play it.
The words, because you can feel the emotion behind the song. And I know, because I've been there, I know so many other people have been there, where you don't feel enough.
Mm-hmm.
Where you feel that I don't know if I'm going to get through whatever it is that I'm getting through. And one thing that I love what you say when you're kind of speaking those affirming words, that's what someone needs to hear when they're getting through that, of what you need is inside of you.
Absolutely.
And you can make it through whatever challenge it is that you're facing. And that music, that speaks to the spirit.
Absolutely. Really, there is nothing too hard for whomever you believe in. I won't get sacro-religious on here, but there is nothing too hard for a higher power. Mm-hmm. There is just nothing too hard. You can get through it, and you are enough.
Right. And there's a plan for you. And I think sometimes when you are in abusive situations, or you feel as though that, well, what is my life worth? Because I'm going through this. So I must not be a person that has like real purpose. And this song says like, no, like, you know, you are valuable and beautiful, just beautiful song. Thank you so much for sharing that. And anyone drop in the comments, please, if you have of how this touched you, made you feel, please be sure to just drop in the comments and share with us. And let's see. So we do have, you sent me 3. So I do have another song. Now I think I can do it a little smoother. I was, right before we started, we got on, I was listening to He's Got the Groove. Mm-hmm. I like that. I was like, okay.
That is a real life song too. It is about a guy I was dealing with who, you know, thought he was all that in a bag of Cheerios and wasn't treating me how he was supposed to treat me. And then there's this other guy over here where I'm like, he might have it, baby. You don't.
So if you've been in that situation, or if you're currently in that situation, then you're going to be able to relate. So I am going to play the sample that you provided for that one too.
Okay.
All right. It's going to be smooth though. We're going to got it together. Got it together. Okay. All right. So now this is, thank you. So I appreciate you sharing your gift with the platform so much.
Thank you for having me. I mean, this is awesome.
Okay, so now we're going to hit the play button.
You feeling like it's special, but I don't really think so. I feel like I'm missing out on you. To be the one that I need, you know, the one who understands me. He's got that groove, I can see it in his eyes when he says, baby, how you been? He got class and style, baby, by the mile. Let me tell you how my head spins. I'm looking over when he walks by, cause I know that he's my type, just right, no lie. He's got that groove, yeah, moves, yeah, smooth, yeah. He's got that groove. He's got that groove, yeah, moves, yeah, smooth, yeah. He's got that groove. I'm showing you the back door. What you still here for? My love, my time. Tell me why it's filling up your shoes. Cause baby, you're old news. For real, you know the deal. He's got that groove, I can see it in his eyes when he says, baby, how you been? You got class and style, baby, by the mile. Let me tell you how my head spins. I'm looking over when he walks by, cause I know that he's my type, just right, no lie. He's got that groove, yeah, moves, yeah, smooth, yeah. He's got that groove. He's got that groove, yeah, moves, yeah, smooth, yeah. He's got that groove. He's got that groove, yeah, moves, yeah, smooth, yeah. He's got that groove. He's got that groove, yeah, moves, yeah, smooth, yeah. He's got that groove. He's got that groove, yeah, moves, yeah, smooth, yeah. He's got that groove. He's got that groove, yeah, moves, yeah, smooth, yeah. He's got that groove. He's got that groove, yeah, moves, yeah, smooth, yeah. He's got that groove. He's got that groove, yeah, moves, yeah, smooth, yeah. He's got that groove.
Sorry, y'all. I was gone. I was in a zone. I'm on mute. I don't even know if the screen is up. I was saying I'm drinking my little kombucha out there, and I was like, I need wine. I need to trade in this kombucha for some red wine.
That is too funny.
Yes. Thank you so much. So again, for those that are listening, how can people support you and find out more about your music?
Again, you can find me on Facebook, Mojo NC Music. You can find me on Instagram, Mojo Music, at Mojo Music 007. You can also locate me on my website, www.mojoncmusic.com. And you can find me on all streaming platforms, Apple Music, Amazon, the Google Play Store. I am out there.
Awesome. So this was such, I thoroughly enjoyed having you on the platform, sharing your story, sharing your gift of storytelling through music. And I think the work that you do should definitely be celebrated. So we look forward to continuing to supporting you any way we can on your journey. And this is what it's all about, helping each other, because, you know, everybody is going through so much, especially these last couple years with the pandemic and everything going on. So the type of music that you provide that's uplifting, that's encouraging, that's so what's needed right now. So thank you for allowing yourself to kind of be, hold space for people that need that type of healing music that really touches the soul, touches the spirit.
And thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Anytime I can get the opportunity to spread some good vibes, some good juju, I love to spread it, especially like you said, with everything that's been going on, you know, since 2020 and whatnot. People having lost family members. Like, it's just a mess with the whole pandemic and everything that's been going on. So anytime that I can spread a little joy, sprinkle a little something, I like to do it. So thank you.
Thank you so much. So what we're going to do, we have one more song selection that we're going to play. We're going to kind of go out to that so everybody can enjoy and listen. And again, I'll make sure that I place all of your contact information in the description box so people will be able to show their support. For you, those that are joining, thank you so much for joining tonight. You can catch a new episode next Tuesday, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now, I would tell you to go to 𝙤𝙤𝙨𝙠.com, but currently the website is on vacation. So because of that, you can't go there. But what you can do is follow me on my Instagram page, Kai Marie Robertson. And also, of course, subscribe to the Healing Element podcast, and you can find out everything that I have going on. And when the website comes back from vacation, I'll be sure to let y'all know. So that being said, you have a great night. Monique, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was an absolute pleasure to have you, and thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Kisses. All right, so let's go out to some more of your music, and this is going to work seamlessly. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
The last one can't cause me problems. That'd be just plain embarrassing. So we got it working right. We'll share the screen. There has to be a faster way to do this. I'm just not tech savvy, so there's that part of it. All right, so we're going to go out to your music. And I hope everyone, again, joins me next Tuesday, same time, 8 p.m. right here on the Healing Element podcast. Be sure to subscribe and also share this episode with others who are, if they want to be a singer, songwriter, or if they're just going through a challenging time, or they're going through a great time in their life. Either way, I think that what we talked about tonight can definitely strike a chord with them. So thank you all so much for listening and joining and showing support. And we're going to go out with some more mojo.
Music's in my heart, don't wanna be your star. Just here to do what I could and make you feel good. Music's in my heart, don't wanna be your star. Just here to do what I could and make you feel good. You ever hit that one song make you get up on your feet? You ever had that one song make you tap right to the beat? I'm here to share myself with you, let you inside my world. Music is my only love, it came from up above. Feel good music, real good music. Feel good music, real good music. Music's in my heart, don't wanna be your star. Just here to do what I could and make you feel good. Music's in my heart, don't wanna be your star. Just here to do what I could and make you feel good. Come on, get funky. Come on, get funky, baby. Come on, get funky. Come on, get funky, baby. Come on, get funky. Come on, get funky, baby. Come on, get funky. Come on, get funky, baby. Feel good music. Real good music. Feel good music. Real good music. Music's in my heart. Don't wanna be your star. Just here to do what I could and make you feel good. Music's in my heart. Don't wanna be your star. Just here to do what I could and make you feel